attorney's eyes only designation to protect, as they term it, highly confidential information that could destroy the careers of the third-party people that are involved.
Juries don't like liars. Trials are about credibility.
It's intensely personal. It's getting more personal. They're going to discover more information that's going to make them angry. They're out to salvage their reputation, so there's not going to be an easy way to walk away from this and say, okay, let's just call it a day.
Everything seemed picture perfect until it all went up in flames. For years, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively dazzled Hollywood with their quick wit and glamorous red carpet appearances. But behind the smiles,
This just in, Justin Baldoni's team has issued a response in opposition to dismiss the New York Times, and there is a bit of a smoking gun.
there's been a firestorm of drama brewing, one so intense it might just end their careers for good. Are they really on the brink of a total Hollywood downfall?
It is so clear Blake's case is falling apart. She's destroying her craft.
Or is this just one more stunt in a long list of controversies? Hey, before we dive deeper into all the shocking details, do me a favor. Smash that like button, share this video with your friends, and hit subscribe if you haven't already. Every sub helps me buy more coffee and keeps this channel going strong. Now, let's uncover the roller coaster ride that got Ryan and Blake on the verge of total collapse. The first cracks appear.
Intensely personal. It's getting more personal. They're going to discover more information that's going to make them angry. They're out to salvage their reputation, so there's not going to be an easy way to walk away from this and say, okay, let's just call it a day.
The first whisper of trouble started innocently enough. Insiders claimed Ryan and Blake looked unnervingly tense at industry parties. Instead of their playful banter, fans noticed awkward, forced smiles. Then came the subtle shift on set. People began complaining that the couple's presence felt more like a dark cloud than a box office blessing.
And I suspect that might be making Ryan Reynolds extremely nervous, and I'll tell you why.
Unconfirmed rumors flew around that certain directors were wary of casting them in lead roles, sensing a strain that bubbled just below the surface. Word on the grapevine was that bigwigs in Hollywood started referring to them as the power couple with a catch. And that catch soon made itself known.
So I think there could be some argument about whether it was leaked and shouldn't have been leaked, and should they have the information or what it may be. But no matter what happens, this is a damning quote.
Internal battles, behind-the-scenes spats, and an obsession with controlling every narrative. Yet nobody outside their inner circle could pinpoint exactly what was going on. Was it marital stress, hidden legal strife, or a simple meltdown under the spotlight? One thing was sure, wherever they went, tension was never far behind. But the real story is far darker than a little marital bickering, alleged betrayals, and questionable PR tactics. As buzz grew louder, so did allegations of orchestrated PR stunts. Some fans noticed bizarre social media patterns, ghost accounts showering the couple with praise, negative comments vanishing in real time, and a suspicious wave of positivity that showed up whenever controversies threatened to break out. A few skeptics dug in, capturing screenshots and tracking user behavior. What they found was enough to raise more than a few eyebrows.
Lively vs. Baldoni, how right-wing influencers are weaponizing the fight to take down #MeToo.
This is the Hollywood meltdown you never saw coming.
Judge in Blake Lively's case just slapped down their psychopathic request for 2.5 years worth of every message that Justin Baldoni and Justin Heath and the PR agents have ever sent to everybody, plus location data. We knew that was going to happen.
Multiple accounts used identical phrases like, "They're the best couple in Hollywood. Haters are just jealous," often popping up within minutes of each other. Then came the claims about hush-hush fixers with rumored intelligence backgrounds working behind the scenes to scrub dirty laundry. If that's true, it's a next-level PR game that signals big money and desperation at play. But trying to bury the truth only stirred up a hornet's nest they weren't prepared for. The hidden battle with industry insiders. Even more jaw-dropping were rumblings that Ryan might have been quietly dropped, some say fired, from an undisclosed Hollywood project. Behind closed doors, execs reportedly grew tired of the near-constant drama swirling around him and Blake. Production delays.
Lively obtained all of these text messages through subpoena. Okay, what's subpoena? You can only issue a subpoena if you have an open legal case. So you have to have a valid legal case. I can't just issue a subpoena to, the New York Times.
Image problems and the dreaded risk of bad press left certain studio heads feeling the pair was simply too big a gamble. Insiders suggest that this was the beginning of a broader Hollywood freeze-out. Some producers allegedly politely passed on upcoming pitches that involved either Ryan or Blake. And let's not forget the rumors about friction with co-stars who once adored them, but have now stepped away, wary of getting dragged into the storm. Could the meltdown be so severe that it's threatening to upend deals worth millions?
It kind of makes them look like they're trying to take that video now that it's out and kind of spin it in a different direction.
That's exactly the speculation. The real question is whether these two can salvage their brand before every major studio slams the door shut. But their biggest threat might not even come from the outside: the explosive fallout and media frenzy. Not one to go down without a fight.
We weren't the first to do this. It was Blake Lively, it was Ryan Reynolds. This was their strategy, and now they kind of want to put the genie back in the bottle. But guess what? The genie does not want to go back in the bottle.
Ryan allegedly took the offensive. Reports of behind-the-scenes meddling turned into full-on meltdown mode. Insider leaks describe tense phone calls, desperate attempts at damage control, and an odd fixation on...
It just blows my mind how dumb Blake Lively's team is, and how just, I guess, egocentric, maniacal that she thinks that she can tell the world, you didn't see what you actually saw with your eyes. It's insane.
Protecting their narrative at all costs. During a recent promotional event, onlookers claimed they witnessed Blake storm off after a heated exchange involving a top producer. Details remain sketchy, but multiple eyewitnesses say the argument was so intense that security had to step in. Ever since, the rumor mill has been going full throttle, with some claiming that this explosive behavior may cost them more roles than they realize. Tabloids ate it up, of course.
This is the audio Blake and Ryan's agent seemingly didn't want you to hear.
I wonder if you could tell us about a little bit of a mess that I gather you've been involved in.
Oh yeah. I know where you're going with this one.
Do you have notes on it?
Oh yeah. Those are the two things I said to myself.
Spinning headlines about Blake Lively's mega meltdown and Ryan Reynolds' ultimate betrayal. Whether the reports are exaggerated or not, public perception clearly took a nosedive. Suddenly, that couple everyone used to adore looked a lot more like Hollywood's biggest cautionary tale. But wait, there's another twist that threatens to blow everything sky high. Allies turned rivals.
I mean, is it not a little hypocritical? Is this a bad look of her if she's trying to tell the courts that we should stop talking about this in public?
As if the drama wasn't wild enough, more cracks started appearing among their closest friends and collaborators. Remember those A-list pals who once championed Ryan and Blake's every move? Many have fallen silent or even quietly distanced themselves. Some in the industry claim certain top-tier celebrities simply don't pick up when Ryan or Blake calls.
I think we're seeing now with this quote is WME absolutely got rid of him because of these things that were said. And so now he's got a clear line to get damage support.
Fearful that associating with them might damage their own reputations. Reports also suggest that production teams who worked on their previous projects are reluctant to sign on for anything that even smells of their involvement.
Blake says she's so glad they did, but now she wants all other footage to not come forward. And we're supposed to be like, yeah, you go, girl.
Lawyers are stupid. It's like he's like being nicer. He's like, your lawyers are really stupid.
A few ex-colleagues have gone so far as to hint that they felt used by the couple's relentless image control. One anonymous insider mentioned that it's not even about the arguments on set anymore. It's about the constant spin and how they make everyone else feel disposable. But as the dust settles,
finally, we can now see that Ryan was panicked in general.
This dispute, these words that were said by Lively side had a clear, immediate negative impact on Meltdown's career.
the biggest question is whether either of them can withstand the looming storm. A house of cards teetering. With rumors of blacklisted status and broken friendships swirling, it's not hard to see how everything might collapse in an instant.
And that's why you think, like you mentioned before, that you think this video is the most damning evidence that Baldoni has so far.
I think so. And it's better than work.
If you have somebody who has a significant amount of power in the industry and has the ability to tell stars not to go on your podcast in the future, and has general ability to make life uncomfortable for you and ask for a favor, you're more inclined to do it, right?
Each new headline adds more weight to an already precarious situation, leading many to wonder if Ryan and Blake's meltdown has reached a point of no return.
That was what the fight was over.
So Blake Lively, her team wanted to have a rubber stamp that said attorney's eyes only, and they wanted to use it in their discretion on any document they wanted.
Yeah.
And that presumably would make it an attorney's eyes only designation unless...
Over the years, we've all seen Hollywood comebacks, but this fiasco feels different. If they can't regain trust behind the scenes, no amount of red carpet charm will fix the damage. Worst of all, the public is growing increasingly skeptical. In an era where transparency and authenticity reign, attempts to manipulate the narrative have a funny way of backfiring. Fast. Some say the couple's next moves will involve more PR wizardry, carefully curated interviews, a few well-timed philanthropic gestures, maybe even a tearful confessional.
I don't know how much is going to come through in the transcript that can be read now, but audibly, because we were able to call in to that hearing and listen to it, there did seem to be a lot of stress and a lot of tension, particularly when it came to those points.
Others believe they'll keep doubling down, ramping up the drama until it inevitably breaks them. Right now, it's anyone's guess which path they'll choose. Before we wrap up, let's pull everything together and see what the future might hold. After everything that's come to light, from rumored firings and buried controversies to hush-hush PR plots, it's clear that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's so-called perfect world is unraveling at breakneck speed.
Her books are so good you can't put them down. I believe this is her first book that was made into a movie. He read it. He wanted it to be like a serious movie about domestic violence.
They've got more on the line than just their reputations. If things continue this way, they may lose the one thing Hollywood can't ever fully replace: the audience's trust. It's a lesson in how quickly fortunes can change when egos, secrecy, and alleged betrayals collide.
It felt almost like nervously so from her team of how much that clearly was the most important thing for them.
Will they stage a dramatic comeback, or is this the final scene of their Hollywood story? One thing's for sure, we'll all be watching to see how this saga unfolds. And hey, if you enjoyed going down this rabbit hole of twists and betrayals,
it just, given what we're looking at and what's happening and the backlash and everything else, I can't imagine Blake's celebrity friends are happy that it's gotten to this point.
Don't forget to drop a like, share this video, and hit that subscribe button, because every sub helps me buy more coffee to fuel these deep dives. Let me know in the comments what you think about this entire meltdown. Are we witnessing the end of the line or just another chapter in the never-ending Hollywood drama? Thanks for watching, and brace yourselves, because the next big twist could be just around the corner.
So it is important in times like these to have a distraction. And that's why I want to personally extend my gratitude to Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively.
Judge in Blake Lively's case just slapped down their psychopathic request.
And the court said no.
Breaking news, Justin Baldoni just got a big win, meaning Blake Lively got a big loss.
And she, along with Sony, she wanted to build her brand, she being Blake Lively, and she wanted to be like florally rom-com. I'm Lily Bloom, and I work at a flower shop. Get it?
Not able to hold a logical thought, but guess what? I, as a judge, I am able to hold logical thoughts. So we're gonna slap that down. You obviously cannot do that.
So she was like, wear your floral prints and come see the movie, gals. Every day is Galentine's Day.
The judge was calling both of them out. He was attempting to keep things being neutral, but there were definitely moments where Brian's arguments felt stronger than the other side.
Sony sided with her, and everyone's like, why did Sony side with her when he wanted the movie cut this way? He wanted the movie marketed this way because she is Mrs. Ryan Reynolds.
And he made it very clear that some of the things that Blake was afraid of coming out in court were not things that Wayfarer was actively pursuing.
Justin Baldoni's side argued that they think that she shouldn't receive any preferential treatment because she's famous. And we need to see all this information. We'll redact it. We'll keep it from the public. And they say, no, you'll leak it.
Blake Lively texted Justin Baldoni and was like, I know you haven't seen Game of Thrones, but I'm Khaleesi and I've got two dragons. The two dragons are, of course, her husband Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift.
we don't think we should have to present some of our text messages in discovery with our high-profile clients, that being Taylor Swift and whoever else. Some people say Bradley Cooper and whatever other friends of Blake Lively might get sucked into this.
She sued him for harassment. The New York Times published basically all of the claims that she had made against him. If this were in the middle of the Me Too movement, he would have been canceled. And he's like, no, I didn't do anything wrong.
You know, the public is entitled to see different court papers. You know, everything's supposed to be public, right? Freedom of Information Act is supposed to be public. But in certain cases like this, sure.
What he was saying is, I didn't do anything wrong. Ryan Reynolds gargled my marbles, and here are the texts that shows just how much he loved me, which is really, you know, great for him.